at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. An emotional more than 24 hours for many here in eastern Kentucky. Around this time yesterday, we were celebrating the rescue of 22-month-old Kenneth Howard. Rescuers found him alive in the woods near the Magoffin-Floyd County line 67 hours after he went missing. Today, rescue crews came together to talk about what we're calling the mountain miracle. WYMT's Will Puckett is live in Prestonsburg with more. Will?
Steve, you could see and hear and feel the emotions in these first responders, many of them fathers themselves, talking about the moments, the seconds, the minutes, the hours, and now the day after they found little 22-month-old Kenneth Howard alive in the Magoffin County wilderness. A faint cry was all that they heard when rescuers knew they were getting closer. Then, screaming his name, they found the little boy in an area they say, had they not heard his cries, they probably would have walked right past. Wearing a gray Avengers t-shirt and red sweatpants with a blue stripe, crews carried little Kenneth Howard out to be reunited with his parents after 67 hours alone in the woods.
We was doing a grid search. We was doing a par status. Everybody was yelling across, and as they were yelling, I heard something distant, just a cry. And I just yelled for everybody to hush a minute, and he done it again, and I was like, I found him, and I took off running. He's here. I told him we need to get more people in this area, and he kept crying, so we finally made it up to him. He was sitting on a flat no bigger than that.
Nearly 70 hours alone, no food, no water. All he was wanting was mom and dad and a drink of water. They gave him some Gatorade afterward, and he kind of livened up after that. And Steve, first responders here said it takes a grown person 3 days. That's how long they can survive without water. Little Kenneth Howard did about just that. We will have more from the first responders who found him, and like you heard, that one who went running it right after him when they heard those cries. Live in Prestonsburg, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
And Will, we're also told today he is expected to make a full recovery, so great news. Thank you very much. We'll have much more on this story coming up at 6 o'clock, a story that is gaining attention across the nation. Well, there is no longer a reward for information on the disappearance of Savannah Spurlock, but her family and friends are still hoping for answers. The $10,000 reward expired at midnight. The young mother went missing back in January. The family started the reward hoping it would bring out some new leads. Now, if you have any information, you're still asked to call Richmond Police.
And we saw those temperatures increase today, and we'll continue to see that trend as we head into the next few days. You'll notice as we take a look at a few of our cameras, you're noticing those beautiful blue skies and plenty of sunshine over into Whitesburg. Much of the same story, satellite and radar showing those dry conditions, and just a few clouds a little bit earlier today, but those mostly sunny skies. Temperatures, they're pretty warm. Those low to mid 50s, maybe even some spots near 80 outside, or 70s, excuse me. I think I just said 50s. Those mid to upper 70s, lower 80s. And if you're wanting to get out and mow the grass, well, it's the perfect time to do it. A little bit warm out there. Make sure you have plenty of water. But as we head into the weekend, it's going to be a great weekend to get your lawn cut. Steve, I know that you've been wanting to get out there, so this weekend's looking like the best weekend to do it.
Have to have some water with you. Thank you, Paige. City officials in London say more people are recycling, but it could cost the city more than it helps. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talks to officials about how you can help solve that problem.
More people are recycling in London than before.
It just keeps all this stuff out of the landfill, you know, which they'll fill up pretty soon.
Walking by the streams, seeing garbage and stuff, it's like, come on, people. We could do better.
Officials say while they are happy to see more people involved, some are trying to recycle items that need to be thrown out, which is causing issues.
We're having to pay to get this garbage hauled off. We're paying people to sort the good product out of the garbage.
And with the market having more restrictions and less companies buying, they're not getting the money back in. Officials say just 3 years ago, they were making around $650,000 a year in revenue.
This year, we're probably going to be lucky to be at $350,000, so it's dropped almost half.
which could be detrimental to the facility.
Because if we don't get something done, I'm not sure how long we'll recycle.
It will take the community working together to get back on track.
If it's not recyclable, please don't put it in a recycle bin. I mean, just if you do that, you'll solve 90% of the problems we have here.
Hoping to continue keeping their county clean and thriving. In Laurel County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
For more information on how you can help, we have a link on this story on our website. One person is in the hospital following an overnight crash in southern Kentucky. It happened around midnight on American Greeting Card Road north of Corbin. Dispatchers tell us only one car was involved. All we know right now is that someone was flown to the hospital with injuries, but we do not yet know how serious they are. This afternoon, flags in Kentucky are flying at half-staff to honor a Fort Campbell soldier who died in Syria. Private First Class Michael Thomason died last month. The Army says his injuries were non-combat related. The 28-year-old was from suburban Detroit. If you head to a Central Kentucky high school graduation next week, you may think you're seeing double. It turns out Boyle County High School has 10 sets of twins graduating on May 25th. The class of 2019 will be remembered for many things, maybe academics or sports, but this class will seal its legacy with all the twins graduating. All have gone to school together since kindergarten.
Because we don't really think about it, but we've basically grown up with a friend right next to each other. And while we've had our fights, definitely, I think we're going to miss having somebody who has a lot of the same interests right across from your door.
And with just 219 graduates, these 20 kids make up 9% of the graduating class. And that's not all. In the future, school officials say Boyle County will also have several triplets graduating together. May is Melanoma Awareness Month. Last July, at the age of just 20 years old, University of Kentucky football player Joshua Pascal found out he had melanoma, the most serious form of skin cancer. He attributes football with helping him find the cancer and the support of his family and team for helping him along this journey. As Amber Philpott explains, Pascal is using his story to advocate for awareness about a disease he was unfamiliar with until he heard the words, "You have cancer."
It was a simple tackle in a game against Middle Tennessee State last November. But to the Wildcat who made it, it was monumental.
It was great. Just being on that field and just hearing the crowd and being with my teammates and just knowing that, first of all, I wasn't on the scooter anymore. I could walk, I could run.
Just 4 months earlier, Pascal wasn't sure he'd even be back on the football field after finding this spot on the bottom of his right foot.
It was just a small spot. It started out probably the size of a small mole, and I really thought it was a blood blister because I knew I didn't get a mole at the bottom of my foot.
Pascal underwent 3 surgeries. The melanoma was deeper and more aggressive than first thought. He underwent immunotherapy to fight the cancer and only has a few more treatments to go. Last season, he says he felt the love and support of the Big Blue Nation behind him and what it did for his fellow teammates.
Just to see my team just really get motivated by what I was going through, and just to know that my brothers had my back, and that's just something I can truly say, is that my brothers truly did have my back, and they really made sure that I was okay through everything.
Now he's got their back with his sights set on this fall. As focused as Joshua Pascal is on football, he's also focused on using his story to be a game changer in a different way.
Just to be able to just hopefully save somebody's life, just to get them to have those skin checks, to be aware of their body, and just for God to use me just to help other people. I feel like that's what I've been called to do.
Amber Philpott reporting. Joshua says through his cancer journey, he learned to lean on his faith more than he ever had. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, can he do it yet again? People flock to Long Island to catch a glimpse of Tiger.
And the heat and humidity increases as we head into your Friday, and especially by the time we get to your Saturday. I'll have a look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
Is there a correlation between recent Perry County auto thefts and a theft that recently just happened at Rental Pro? We'll have more details coming up next.